Today we are discussing, should you self-study a language or should you take lessons with a tutor or even group lessons? So let's talk about some of the pros and cons, when you should self-study and when you should get a tutor for language learning. Something that I tell my coaching clients a lot when they ask me, should I self-study or should I tutor, is it depends on the situation, and sometimes it could even depend on your level, your language level, and your level of motivation. So before you click away because I said it depends on the situation, let me explain in depth what I mean by this. Welcome to my parents' living room. I don't have a house in South Africa. Let us quickly talk about self-studying. Self-studying is great if you have the time, the resources, and the motivation. Those are the three key things that you need: time, resources, motivation. Time, you need time to plan your learning. You're gonna sit down and create a schedule for yourself. Do watch my previous videos on language scheduling if you need help with that. The reason is, if you are self-studying, you could lose motivation and you could lose that inertia, that movement that is going. If you have a tutor, you're always gonna have that anchor in your week, that you know Tuesdays at 5 p.m. I have a Spanish lessons. But if you're self-studying, you need to create the schedule. Then there is resources. As a self-study learner, you're gonna have to find the resources that work. Luckily, this is not so difficult for most languages. There are tons of recommendations online. I have a whole list of resources in different languages on my website, so you can check out lindiebuddhist.com/language-resources. I do recommend starting with a textbook if you're a beginner or lower intermediate. This is because the textbook follows a curriculum that will guide you through. So if you are struggling to figure out what things to learn, start out with a textbook or follow a path on an app. And then you need the motivation. Sometimes after reaching upper beginner, you're gonna get to intermediate and you're gonna feel like, oh, I'm not progressing. Why is this so hard? And you need to keep that motivation going. I have a YouTube video about motivation if you want to check that out as well. But what I felt is, once I hit this low motivation mark, I try to get a tutor. When I'm a beginner, I feel like this language is stressful, I don't know where to start, and I need someone to guide me. If you have a tutor, they are likely going to set up a curriculum, they're going to have lesson notes and plans for you to use, and it can be really good to guide you just over those first hurdles and first steps. I do recommend, however, that you start out by teaching yourself the basics, so you can learn how to say, hello, my name is, where are you from, my hobbies, my job, etc. You learn those basics first, so that when you go to a tutor, you already know a few words, a few sentences, you can introduce yourself. And hopefully at a lower beginner level, you might be able to explain what you want to learn. And you can explain to the tutor what your needs are. However, when I'm an intermediate learner, I feel like I've already gotten that base. I've had a tutor help me through the beginning steps, and now I need to learn on my own. There are a lot of resources for intermediate learners as well. You can immerse in content online, you can watch videos, you can get a textbook, and you can even get a language exchange partner who you can just talk to and practice to get the language going and keep it alive. So intermediate, I feel personally, is the time where I learn best alone. However, once I advance a little bit more, it gets hard to find content. You will feel like, okay, everything is at my level or below my level, how can I learn more advanced? And again, this is where a tutor seems to be really handy for me. I found that when I struggle to progress, I get a tutor so that they can anchor the week for me. What I mean by an anchor is, I know that if I don't do anything in the language, at least I have this day or these 2 days in the week where I know I'm gonna have a lesson with a tutor. I feel that I can learn vocabulary on my own by watching a lot of content, but for languages like Korean and Japanese that have really complex grammar structures, when you reach an advanced level, that's a really good time to get a tutor, because they can explain those grammar structures to you, teach those grammar structures to you, and you can practice the advanced vocabulary that you've learned with them. It's also a good idea to have a tutor in the case that you want somebody who can correct your mistakes. It's not always easy to find someone at an intermediate or advanced level who can fix your mistakes. And with mistakes, it's not practice makes perfect, it is practice makes permanent. So if you're on your own practicing and learning, you might be making mistakes that you don't know you're making. And again, this is where a tutor will come in handy because they can be critical in a nice way, constructive criticism, and help you fix your mistakes. So I do use a tutor for some of my more advanced languages like Korean and Japanese so that I can just keep my level high, learn advanced grammar, and learn advanced vocabulary from them. Now, if you are looking to connect with a tutor to practice a language or even learn a new one, I recommend you try out LiveXP. So thank you to LiveXP for sponsoring this segment of the video. So just before this, I did a lesson on LiveXP and it was amazing. I had such a great time and I can really recommend it. I am getting ready for my lesson on LiveXP. I'm gonna have a Japanese lesson because I'm going to Japan next month. So I need to get some practicing because it's been crusty dusty.
神楽坂って聞いたことありますか？
あ、はい、行ったことが1回だけあります。神楽坂。
そうですか。
昨日名前を全然忘れちゃったんですけど、そこにまた行きたいなと思いましたけど、名前忘れちゃった。神楽坂。そうですね。結構おしゃれな場所ですね。
後ろにある絵。
あ、はい、
おしゃれ。
そうですか。結構、昔のアートですけど、南アフリカ人の両親は買ったものですけど、あんまり個人的に好きじゃないと思います。
そうなんですか？
今レッスン終わるばっかりですごく楽しかったです。いろいろ話をしてデザインとか美術館とか東京の旅行についてたくさん話しました。And it was really nice. She was really casual. I felt comfortable immediately and we were just talking like we were old friends. So I had a great time. What I particularly enjoyed was the seamless onboarding experience. You can select from a wide range of interests. Things close to my heart like design, art, travel, museums, cooking, all kinds of things that you're interested in, and then it matches you with tutors who have similar interests. The booking process is really easy and you can see videos of all the teachers to make sure that you find someone who suits your pace, personality, or learning style. I encourage you to try out LiveXP if you want to see how it feels to have a language lesson with a tutor. It's affordable and you have nothing to lose. So LiveXP is a small, new but growing platform and I can see it going big places. Big places? See it going places. There are over 40 languages that you can learn and you can use LiveXP on your desktop or on your mobile phone. If you are ready to try out LiveXP, you can book a trial lesson to see if you like the platform for only $0.99 USD. And then if you feel comfortable to start using it, use my code Lindie30 for 30% discount on a subscription with LiveXP. So there you have it, my experience and my recommendation if you want to try learning a language with a tutor. On that note, I also want to talk about group language lessons versus tutoring. Group language lessons is something iffy for me. Personally, I am 50-50 about them. So I did take group lessons in French at the Alliance Française years ago when I was a high school student. And honestly, I loved it because I was surrounded by people who were learning the same language. You could make friends, you felt motivated to continue, etc. But usually with group lessons, there will always be someone who is slower and holding back the class. And usually there will be someone who is more smart and pushing the class. So what tends to happen with some people is that you compare yourself. You look at the person who's slow and you're like, oh my gosh, this class is just not progressing. Or you look at the more advanced student and you're like, why can't I be like them? I'm stressing, I'm falling behind. That is the one downfall I can foresee with group lessons. But again, it's fun, it's more social, you do feel more motivated to some extent. So that is also something that you can consider. Well, I hope this video was informative for you. Let me know how you prefer to study and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye!